Alright, another video. This one's going to be on how takedowns should be scored in MMA according to a referee. And this referee in this case is going to be Marc Goddard, who I would think is one of the better referees currently right now. Let me just talk about what I think or how takedowns should be scored in my opinion. Also, you guys can leave some comments down below, but it really just depends on what you do with your takedown, right? Because I think we can all agree if someone takes another person down and he gets up right off the right away, or like in a few seconds, I think it negates it because it's impressive to get the takedown, but it's also impressive to get up from that takedown, especially quick. So I just think that should be just neutralized or mute, right? But if they've somehow managed to take him down, keep him down for a good amount of time because control time at the end of the day is very important. You know what I mean? Just think if this was a real fight and they were actually on the ground and he was controlling him like that, he could have been throwing knees to the head and stomping him. Like it could have been, it's a lot different, right? If you put it in that perspective. But what I'm saying is that control time is a lot, especially in a grappling heavy exchange. But they also got to realize that top position sometimes isn't the most dominant position because there are more attacks that you can possibly do in on the bottom in guard, right? And also, some people are striking from the bottom with elbows, a la Tony Ferguson, and it's just judges and referees really need to be aware of that, right? But yeah, it really just depends on what you do with the takedown. Does it lead to a more advantaged position? Does it, secure a submission for you or a submission attempt? So that's what I think, and I think let's leave some comments down below. Let's have a discussion, but let's just read what Marc Goddard has to say. Marc Goddard recently provided an in-depth explanation of how takedowns are evaluated in MMA fights. The value of takedowns in the estimation of MMA judges remains a polarizing and complex issue. Damn, I'm wheezing. I was smoking earlier. Especially considering that judging is one of the most crucial elements of the sport. The MMA community often finds itself at odds over the criteria used for scoring takedowns, especially in grappling heavy contests, leading to contentious and often unsatisfactory results in high stake matches. With over 20 years of experience, Goddard has solidified his status as one of the most venerable referees in the game in MMA, having officiated numerous marquee matchups in the UFC and other top promotions. Considering his extensive background, it's evident that the 50-year-old official has a nuanced understanding of the ins and outs of the game. So, let's see. Excuse me. Alright, so people think that if you finish the round on top, that you take someone down, that you've won the round. It's so absurd. Not all takedowns are the same, obviously, as not all punches and not all kicks are the same. So if I take you down, if I just run into you and bundle you to the ground and I land in a closed guard or a half guard, yes, it's an offensive action, yes. It can be given some credit, but it bears absolutely no significance compared to someone who, like I said, comes back to the effectiveness, the damage, and the impact. So there is the interview right here if you want to check that out. It says Goddard elaborated that in a fight, judges hone in on the damage a fighter inflicts on their opponent, viewing it as the primary metric for scoring, while everything else merely serves as supporting detail, even in the context of a takedown. I could definitely see that, meaning the type of takedown is considered by judges. If I clinch with you and I hip tie you or suplex you over my head and slam you or bang you into the mat with impact again, that can outdo 12 or effing 13 outside bundles or trips you've had before we fight. Make no mistake about it, the number one criterion, the preeminent factor that a judge will consider is damage. That's what it's like. It's used to be a word impact. They never like the word damage. Let's be honest. You're in a fight and my job is to damage you within the realms of the rules to render you potentially unable to continue it. Yeah, basically. So, there you go. What do you guys think of this? Do you have, do you agree with Marc Goddard? Do you have your own takes on how, we should be scoring takedowns? Because I feel like a lot of grappling heavy, fights are often misjudged. You know what I mean? But yes, let me know down in the comments below.